Hey, how's it going? It's Russell James. In this video, we're going to be looking at another raw food classic, Pad Thai. Alright, so this Pad Thai is a pretty simple one. We're going to start off with a courgette or zucchini. We're going to get that peeled, and then I like to chop it in half, and then we're going to get that onto a mandolin, and we're going to run that through the julienne blade, so we get these nice thin strips of zucchini or courgette. Now you could also do this with a peeler, or you could also make noodles. You can use that spiralizer you've got to do that. Okay, so transfer those over to a bowl, and then we're going to start on the next ingredient, which is some mange tout or snow peas. So gather a few of those up, stack them up on top of each other so you can get them sliced nice and thin. If you have trouble doing this stacked up 3, 4, 5 at a time, just do one at a time. Just make sure you get a nice thin slice cut on a bias because it gives you a really nice shape. Into the bowl with those, and then we're going to start on our red bell pepper. Now everyone's got a way that they like to prepare red bell pepper, but the way we like to do it is to top and tail it and then turn it as you cut the panels off the side, so you're essentially just cutting around the seeds. And then those panels that you've got, you can stack those up 2 at a time and cut them so that they get, again, nice and thin. It's really worth spending the time doing them nice and thin and taking care, because your final result, the final result of what you're making, will look so much nicer and higher end, if you like, if you get them cut nice and thin. Into the bowl with those as well, and then we can work on our onion. This is actually a banana shallot. We've taken the skin off of it, top and tail it, and cut it in half. You're only going to need half to a quarter, depending on how much onion you like. And again, lengthways, nice and thin, as you can see here. Next are our spring onions or green onions. Again, we're going to chop those on a bias, slice them on a bias nice and thin so they get that really nice high-end finish to them, with a little spear on the end. And now for our herbs. Of course, Pad Thai, really important to get some herbs in there. We're going to use mint. Stack those mint leaves up, get them nice and high if you can, and then chop them finely. Again, if you find it too difficult with all those mint leaves stacked on top of each other, just do a few at a time. Get your confidence going and practice a little bit until you can do the whole stack in one go. And then we're going to take some coriander or cilantro. Now, if you're one of those people that thinks that coriander, cilantro tastes like soap, just leave it out. You could use a little bit of basil as well. So we're going to chop this with the stalks included. So as you can see here, we're bunching them up and then running your knife through. You can run it through a couple of times if you don't get it on the first go. They go in, quickly followed by some snow pea shoots. If you can't get snow pea shoots, you can just use any small salad leaf. Sunflower greens work really nicely for this as well. And so now, with all of that ready in the bowl, we need our sauce. So a nice simple sauce with this one. We're going to use a nut butter. You could use peanut butter. Almond butter is a real good one as well. If you don't want to use nuts, you could actually use sunflower seed butter, which is a really, really nice butter. How many times did I just say butter? So we're going to use the blender for this. So nut or seed butter in, quickly followed by some tamari. So this is going to give you a real nice depth of flavour, and it's also going to give you saltiness. Next, I like to throw some chipotle chili powder in there. You can leave that out if you don't like it, but who doesn't like chipotle chili powder? It's a delight. So chipotle chili powder, if you like it. I like to follow that up with 2 or 3 soft medjool dates. Make sure you take the stones out of those, of course. You'll soon find out about it if you don't. The Vitamix will start banging around in the Vitamix. And then we're going to go in with some lime juice. I like quite a generous amount of lime juice, and you can reserve some of the unjuiced lime. It's really great to serve this dish with just a wedge of lime. Next, we've got some soaked sun-dried tomatoes. So these are the ones that are ideally not in oil. They're the semi-dried ones that you would just soak them for about 20-30 minutes. You can even do it in a little bit of warm water just to get them to soften up. Bunch them up and then give them a rough chop. That can go into the Vitamix, and then we're going to start on the garlic clove. So smash that with a knife and you'll be able to easily get the skin off. Just cut off that little bit on the end and a rough chop into the Vitamix as well. And then we want to follow that up with some nice fresh ginger. So peel your ginger, a nice cube of ginger in there, whatever size you like. You can follow the recipe, but if you like a more gingery taste, then feel free to add it in. It's really good for you. Then a little bit of water to blend. You might want to go just slightly less than the recipe says. Start blending and see how it looks, because obviously every ingredient's different. Your sun-dried tomatoes are going to be slightly take on a different amount of water maybe than the ones in the recipe, so you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So start with just a little bit less than the recipe, give it a blend and get it nice and smooth. And obviously if it's not getting smooth, if your blender is struggling, add a little bit more water, and you end up with this nice dressing which can then go straight into your bowl with all of the other ingredients. All right, get your hand in there, get that nicely mixed, and then we're ready to start plating. So take a good couple of handfuls for each serving. And then we're going to prepare some almonds for the garnish. You could use cashews for this as well, that would work really well. We're just going to finely chop those. Now, we're just using soaked, we happen to have dried these as well. You don't have to dry them. If you just want to soak them for a few hours, makes them more digestible. If you want to go even further, you could candy these as well. So once you've soaked them and drained them, you can mix them in a bowl with a little bit of salt, lime juice, some coconut sugar, and a little bit of coconut flour, which helps the ingredients stick to the almonds, and dehydrate them and then chop them up. Amazing. But if you haven't got that amount of time, don't worry too much about it. We could just chop them, and we can have those ready for our garnish in a second. So before we put the almonds over the top, we're just going to dress the bowl with a little bit more greenery. We've got these pea shoots here, but again, you could use any small salad leaf if you like. Then we're also going to add some mushrooms. We've got these beautiful small mushrooms here, really delicate and slightly nutty in taste. And then we're going to chop up some fresh red chilies to go over the top, really nice and thin, and you can just put as many of these on as you prefer. Some people prefer a lot more spicy, some people less, so whatever your own taste is there. I tell you what is also really nice on this is some dried chilies. You can use one or either or both. And then to finish off, we're going to sprinkle over those soaked and candied almonds. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you like it, share it with all your friends, and do head over to therawchef.com to sign up for more free recipes. I'll see you in the next one.